120, there was nothing happening. So, yeah, during the middle of our day this time of year, it's very slim pickings, mate. Not much on any band. 10 is good in the morning to the US as well, short pass, as well as the other lower bands being open long pass, mate. But yeah, you're sounding good, very strong. EA5JZ, VK6IA.
VK6IA EA5JZ. Well, yeah, you're 20 over mine, Andrew. 20 over. Very loud and all fine and working Carl and Dan. I don't know if you worked anybody else in 40 when I left. I heard you calling and a couple coming back to you, but as I said, I could hardly hear them on the back of the antenna. I think they were definitely from the US. But anyway, I went straight to my scratcher. So it's 7 and off. I sat here for 5 minutes while the amp was cooling down before I switch it off completely. And then it goes, you know, it does the countdown from 30 seconds or whatever it is down to 0, and then that's it, good to go. So I just waited that calm down, then that was me. I went to bed. I don't get me wrong, I went to sleep until about 1 o'clock. I can't remember what time I left you at. Probably 1:30 by the time I fell asleep. When Tracy was watching a movie, so I just turned around and kind of curled up into myself and eventually dropped off. But I woke up this morning at 7 and I thought, you know, I'm just going back to sleep. And I never woke up until just about 8:30, actually, in a long lie. But I woke up and it's beautiful, it's absolutely gorgeous outside. Not a breath of wind, nice and sunny. And it's only going to be 16, but it'll be nice when you're out there in the sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day. And I think it's to get up to 19 or 20 come the weekend. So it's going to be some pretty nice weather. Finding the tower, etc. Those stays that you've got for the guy wires, Andrew, are they concreted in, or are they just in at an angle going the opposite way from the tower? You know, driven in at, you know, as if they're pointing away from the tower. Have you got them driven in at an angle that way, or are they actually concreted in? No,
they're at an angle and they're concreted as well. So they're not going to come off. Well, one of them goes down to the shed, basically, or the carport. That's a big steel frame construction, and there's a bracket welded onto the side and a loop. And one goes to its own post in the concrete. That's the one I was checking. That was the one opposite the wind direction, so it was taking all the load. And it's just a pipe in the ground, but it's the offcut of the stub mast. The stub mast that comes out the top of the rotator through the bearing was a 6-metre pole when I bought it. It's like 6 mil wall thickness, really thick walled stuff. And I cut a couple of metres off, so I didn't want the whole lot coming out the top of the tower and too much leverage. So I cut some off, and then that ended up being used for the post in the ground. So it goes about 1.5 metres into the ground, and the bit that's sticking up's got the eye bolts and the shackles and whatever you call it, turnbuckles on. So it's not moving anywhere, mate. It's never going to move. It's stuck in with concrete, so it should be fine. But you know, when things are really creaking and the load is on them, you sort of tend to check these things just for the hell of it. But no, of course, it's not even moving as you'd expect there, mate. EA5JZ, VK6IA.
VK6IA EA5JZ. And we're being joined by Oscar Norway Echo India. Good morning to you, John. And John, don't be silly. You don't need to worry about that, mate. Anytime you want, as I've said to you before, Paul. So bear with me for a second, John. I'll put it back to you. John's down there wants to say hello and get a report from you, Andrew. You know John, O-N-E-E-I. Great call sign out of Belgium, considering where he's from. Anyway, no, that's good, mate. Excellent. And understand, I think my stub mast is probably about 4 metres or something like that. Maybe 3 or 4 metres long. But of course, there's a lot of it in the actual cradle itself. And I think there's, as a matter of fact, maybe only about 3.5 metres actually. 3.5 metres or so, but it's just a scaffolding tube, but it's not a scaffold tube, I'll tell a lie. This one is the one that I got with the tower. The boy made it himself. It's a 3-inch pipe and it's steel. It's not aluminium. This is a steel one, and the very heavy wall thickness. But it's well made. The guys done a great job. Actually, we made it to bolt onto the top of the prop pitch. Thankfully, I gave him the prop pitch with him, and he done everything and brought everything up with him at the time. So that was all good. Anyway, I'll put it back to you, Andrew, and say hello to John now. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. From VK6IA, yeah, that's nice and heavy. That's what you want. You don't want any bending happening up there. I tried to keep the weight down and bought aluminium, bought a brand new length of 6 metre tube and just cut it to length. So there's about 1.5 metres inside the rotator cage and the rest is out the top. It's got 2 and 70 and 23 Simyagis and a collinear on the very top there for 2 and 70. Anyway, John, let's see how you're hearing me there. Oscar November 8 Echo India. A very good day to you. Hope all is well. This is VK6IA. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Roger. Good day to you, Andrew. I don't know what time it is there in VK6 land, and thank you to Paul for allowing me to come in and get a report. VK6 India Alpha, Oscar November 8 Echo India. Andrew, last seen 5859. I'm not on the Hermes light. I'm on the Annan. Andrew, over.
Yeah, QSL, John. Well, you're sounding good on the Annan. You're sounding good. Very rarely do I hear you use your Annan. So there you go. It's a first, but you're sounding good, mate. You're 5 and 9. 5 and 9 and just a whisker over S9. So sounding very, very good. Local time's just gone 5 p.m., 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperature 21.9 today. Quite a cool day. I think we ended up with a top of about 24, 25. So a cool day for this time of year. Very cool day, actually. And we've got some very strong winds at the moment, but they'll be dying down later and we'll be warming up tomorrow. But you're doing well anyway, John, sounding terrific as I would expect. ON8EI with the group, VK6IA.
Yeah, Roger on that, Andrew. And I hope to sound even louder in the next month or maybe 6 weeks. I'm building a 6-element for 10 meters with a 9 meter boom, and I'll get it up to about 15 meters. Over.
Very nice, very nice. That'll give you a few dB improvement. Well, the same from this end. I'm extending the 20-foot boom of the Step IR to 10 metres, 32 feet, and putting a 4th element on, which will give me 2 elements on 30 and 40, and 4 elements on the rest. So it'll be quite a wide-spaced antenna, on this band, but it should deliver the goods. And of course, Paul's running 5 elements on this band on a very long boom. Yeah, it's Paul. That antenna, the DB42, it's probably got. I'd have to look at the gain figures, but it's probably got pretty impressive gain figures. Being 13 metre long boom, even though it's only 5 elements. It's a very long boom, 10 metre antenna. I'll just look up the specs there, Paul. I'll put it round to you, Paul. EA5JZ with the group, VK6IA.
VK6IA EA5JZ. Excellent and good morning, John. John, I'm hearing you, but I've got a lot of noise here, John. So sometimes I'm missing some of the words, and because of the high noise level, mate. Nothing to do with your signal. It's just the fact that the noise here is high in this direction, mate. So you might be hearing me a bit better than I'm hearing you, John. So, good. I just missed that, Andrew, that you were saying there about the gain. Are you talking about the gain on my antenna?
Yeah, just the boom length. It should translate to really good gain, obviously. I'm just looking it up. Free space gain, they reckon 12.2. Because what's the boom length of yours? 13 metres, is it, over?
Well, it's 42 feet, whatever that is in metres. So it's I think it's 13 something or 13.2. Can't remember, but it's 42 foot. And it tells me up now. This is what it says on the stepper controller, whether that's accurate or not. It's 16.6 dBi, it's very well.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They take a ground reflection figure of about 5 dBi and add that to the free space figure to give you that final figure. I've got 13.2 dBi showing on the controller, which is 8-point-something dBi or whatever it may be, plus 5, and the 5 comes from the ground reflection there. So it's only an estimate, of course, and it'll change depending on how high above ground the antenna is. But anyway, John, you'll be loud. You'll be louder than you are now, that's for sure. So I'll be looking forward to hearing you. And what are you going to do? You still going to be active on the other bands, or have you got a second tower, or what's the plan there, John? Over.
Yeah, Roger. Andrew, I'll send you a few photos, and I'll send you also a video of how you sound here. So all the details will be in the photos, Andrew. Okay, Andrew, thank you very much for picking me up. I'll leave you back to Paul, and thank you, Paul, if you're hearing me. So, and if Paul doesn't hear me, Andrew, you can thank him. He's a very nice guy. So back to you, Andrew, for a final, and I'll gonna spin the dial. Victor Kilo 6 India Alpha, Oscar November 8 Echo India. Bye bye from Belgium, Andrew. Over.
Yeah, bye-bye, John. Good to hear you, mate. You're always sounding good, and we'll hear you on some other bands. And, yeah, I look forward to your email and your pictures. And Paul's still hearing you. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, yeah, I'm hearing you fine, John. I never missed a word on that last transmission, mate. So I heard absolutely everything. Always good to hear you, John. Good luck with the antenna. And I'll talk to you soon, mate. 73, thanks for the message. VK6IA EA5JZ. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Bye-bye.
73 is on the Italian station that keeps calling. The frequency's in use, old man. Anyway, Andrew, thanks, John. Catch up with you soon. I've just had a message here from Tony. They're coming up about 11 o'clock, well, so they should be here in an hour or so, Andrew, and we can go and hopefully find some of this noise. Fingers crossed, though. That guy's still calling.
Yeah, so is half of Europe, but it's all right. You're over the top of it anyway, so don't worry. Yeah, all good. Well, hopefully Tony does come up. I'll be really intrigued to hear all the details of what you do and what you find. Good luck, mate. Fingers crossed for you there. And it could be a big step forward if you can find one of those sources that are impacting your receiver. Even if you just knock out the worst one, that's got to be worth quite an improvement there. So all good. Eileen's just come home, so I'm going to sign temporarily and go and see Eileen and see what she's got to say. And I'll come back in a short while there, Paul. It won't be too long, and I'll come back on. So you can work the band a bit more, and I'll come back. EA5JZ, VK6IA.
Okay, Andrew. No problem at all, mate. I'll jump in for I'll visit the wee boys while you're away, and I'll give them a few calls. I'll see you when you get back, okay?
Yeah, okay, mate, no worries. See you shortly. EA5JZ, QRX on the frequency, VK6IA QSY. 73, mate, back shortly.
73, Andrew, see you in a minute. This is Echo Alpha 5, Japan Zulu. Echo America 5, Japan Zulu, CQDX. Victor Kilo 5, India Romeo, Echo America 5, Japan Zulu. Good morning, Theo. How are you? Yeah, the station calling, the frequency's occupied, old man. If I can hear you, you can hear me. The frequency's occupied. Okay, Theo, thanks for the call, mate. You're 5 and 7. 5 and 7, Theo, over. Yeah, I've got, unfortunately, I've got some Europeans who are calling on this frequency, Theo. And how the hell they can't hear me when I can't hear them, I don't believe it for a second. So that's what we're up against. Anyway, it's certainly good to catch up with you. The signals have been pretty decent. I think it's a bit better to the other call areas than 5. Even Tony VK5KI wasn't as strong as I would have expected to hear him. Theo, so better to VK6 and VK2 and VK8 at the moment. But that can all change in a heartbeat, as you well know, mate. Victor Kilo 5, Kilo India, EA5 Japan, so